to go over this with you and make sure it fits for you.
Hi, my name is Lewis Haupt. I work with National Pension Partners, and I work with businesses to allow them to put the maximum away that they can for themselves and to save taxes.
Hi, I'm Brad Coyle, and I'm the brokerage manager at National Pension Partners. We're always analyzing plan fund choices in order to ensure the participant's success.
If you want more information on how we can help you and your business put more money away in a retirement plan than you ever thought possible, contact us at the website below or call us at 877-252.
Okay, there we go. Some technical problems that we have back here, but welcome this Monday morning and Monday afternoon and evening, depending where you're at around the world. Today we're going to be talking about world events on the World Edition. And with that, we're going to go quickly over to Bangladesh and meet with Dr. Sharif, who has apparently a new position that he's been appointed to. Hey, Dr. Sharif, let's see if we can hear you.
Yeah,
all the way from
I'm fine. Thank you. Thank you for inviting.
Yeah, and tell us a little about the Pacific Rim Council. Apparently, you have a new position there, but a lot of people aren't familiar with that. So
yeah.
If you can give us a little introduction about the PRC.
Yeah, you know that your friend, Mr. Homestoner, he visited Bangladesh. He's a very nice man, and he has he's president around the world. He has president from 37 different countries, including India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, and Nepal, Sri Lanka, and all of the country. And he has around 100,000 entrepreneur network through Pacific Rim Business Council, and definitely Port TV is their partners. And basically through this Port TV, I know Mr. Homestoner. He's a very nice man. He visit Bangladesh, he meet with our Prime Minister office, he meet with our economic zones authorities, Bangladesh Investment Development Authorities, Dhaka universities, all of the top places he visit with his team. He has another team member, Mr. John, and we actually heavily exploring the opportunity to business growth with his Pacific Rim Business Council. And you know, this emerging economy like Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Nepal, a lot of new thing happening, especially infrastructure development, agricultural development, educational development, healthcare improvement. So Pacific Rim Business Council and Port TV can work with their network, and they can help to solve different complex problem of the communities. Let's say 2 days ago, I invite 1,000 entrepreneurs through, definitely I promote Port TV, I promote Nick Palveda and all of his show. And 1,000 entrepreneur will join in this ecosystem, and they will learn about Western world, because this is very important, because most of the media and other people, they share a lot of negative things about Western world, but Western world has a lot of good people like Nick Palveda, like Homestoner, like David M. Walkers, like Kimberly. Many good people, they actually help to grow human capacity, what I call talent economy. So, so with this IIT, with Gujarat, with Bangladesh, with Himalaya, you know, Himalaya, Ganga, Bay of Bengals, this Podda, we are developing an innovative ecosystem, and I write a scientific book last 3 years. It's based on the $1 trillion new economic opportunity for this world. So let us work together. So Pacific Rim Business Council can be a strategic player for this economic development. Port TV, like a very good TV for commercializations, TV for creating brand. TV can be like podcast for collaborations. So that will be an amazing opportunity for all of us. So do not go for wire. I'm very much sad what I'm observing in Iran, what I'm observing in USA, even in Bangladesh, around the world. So we should focus on human progressions. So there is the opportunity we can work together. Do not go for too much of politics. too much go for all of the extreme activities. What I'm observing in Iran, do not go for extreme left or extreme right. Better focus on people development. That is my concern and request through Pacific Crime Business Council new position. Thank you, Mr. Nick Palveda. You actually changed my life. So I want to invite more entrepreneurs under your mentorships, and hopefully with your advice and guidelines, they can change their life and you can be the local hero of Bangladesh or India or South Asia.
Most of people, they want to increase their business. They don't want to get involved in the sloppy politics, which of course that we show on the Pod TV network, because people like to watch this stuff. But in terms of doing business, it's really non-productive, in terms of getting things done, not just in the United States, but across international lines, as we well know. Holmstoner, unfortunately, has had some health issues. We do, if he's listening, we do hope the best for him. He's actually done pretty good given the adverse circumstances he's come across. And that's one problem, like I said, Dr. Sharif, that healthcare is an important part of everybody's life, which is one reason we have a show on medicine and science. If you're not healthy, it's tough out there. But I'm glad to see that you're involved in the Pacific Rim Council. I'm glad to see that you're building relationships, and that your mantra is to build relationships, not destroy relationships, and build borders, where people can talk to each other. In other words, a world without walls rather than all these crazy walls that exist. So I think that that would be certainly the way to go in terms of the future. Rick is on, so we're going to bring him on right now.
So the big story that's erupting today is Jerome Powell versus Trump. Jerome Powell is the Fed chairman. Trump does not like him because Powell refuses to lower interest rates, which would goose the stock market, but which could, make inflation go crazy and other stuff. I don't know. But Powell, the Fed's supposed to be independent of the president, and Powell is. And the way, Trump looks for pretexts to go after his enemies. And what's happening, hi, Dr. Sharif, by the way, is Powell is in charge of a $2.5 billion remodel of the Fed building that's been going on for I don't know how long. And I don't know, $2.5 billion sounds like a crazy number. I remember the era where you could do like a remodel or an add-on to your house for $50 to $100 a square foot. But that makes me old. That's like saying, yeah, I remember when gasoline was a dime. So periodically, Powell shows up before Congress to talk about how it's going and, maybe point out some cost overruns. So even $2.5 billion hasn't been enough, that it's going to be more than that, which I guess I don't know what it's all going into, but I assume that a lot of it is making the building, this more than 100-year-old building, better able to handle tech, because the Fed monitors, the economy of the U.S. and, the world. And I assume they need to pipe in huge amounts of financial information. Anyway, it's going to cost more than $2.5 billion. And Trump is accusing Powell of fraud. And I don't know if he wants to prosecute him or just kick him out of office, but that's what's going on.
I looked at that, and that statement's very political, Rick. And I'll tell you why. You think $2.5 billion's a lot, or $4 billion's a lot. It would be a lot if you're in Bangladesh, but not in the United States of America. Do you know, and you can Google this, the Jacksonville Jaguars, seriously, a football team, is remodeling their football stadium, Camping World Stadium, okay, in Orlando. How much do you think their remodel cost? Now, this is a football stadium. It's so not a high.
Since you're asking, I'm going to say it's got to be at least $1 billion.
Oh, it's way more than that. It's closer to 4 billion. But go ahead and Google football stadium remodels in the United States. This is where AI is really great because they'll give you all the ones. It's not just that, it's several other stadiums. I fell out of my chair how expensive football stadiums are. You know, you're talking right now $3.7 to $4 billion to remodel a football stadium. Here in Spain, which has a lot less expense in terms of remodels, they're doing Camp Nou, which is a big stadium. It's $1.5 billion. Now, I remember when I was in Tampa growing up, you could put up they put up the full Tampa stadium. It's actually very horribly constructed. $3 million, that was it. But that was back in the 60s.
Yeah, I
Today,
mean, and football
is what it
stadiums
is.
today offer a completely different. I haven't been to a pro football game since I was a kid, but they
Yeah.
offer a completely different experience than we were
Right.
used to.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
Well, the real key question, of course, I don't know much about the Federal, Reserve building and the remodeling that takes place is exactly how big the building is, what the land is, what the remodel takes place, how much technology is going to be involved. So there's a lot of questions yet. But to just jump up and say, hey, you're overspending money. No, not if you look at what football stadiums cost. I mean, seriously, so don't know enough about it to really opine, but it's quite possible it could be 4 billion and definitely 2.5 billion. I mean, so this goes back to
here's how big the building is: 276,000 square feet, which is the size of 100 big houses.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah. And where's it located at? See, the land is also very important.
Well, in DC, and then there's Boston has a Fed building that's over 300,000 square feet.
Are they remodeling more than one building for this?
No, but I'm just saying that's how big these things are.
Yeah. Well, it really just
Wait a
depends
minute,
on
maybe they are. So, they're maybe remodeling more than one building. But it's that federal style that's all like marble and limestone on the outside.
Right. Yeah, it's an expensive building. I mean, it's just the way it is, and that's one reason I didn't have any problems with the ballroom being 300 million. It sounds like a lot of money until you are doing the job, then you realize, well, maybe it's not that expensive after all, and depends on where it is.
Professor Nick, if you allow me share this content, I can share you very new things. It's very innovative, and we have you see, just recently we do conference in Rajbari where I grow. This is called $1 trillion economy. Even if it's
this is 1 trillion.
Yeah, you just see.
Is this a $1 trillion project in Bangladesh now?
Not only Bangladesh. Just help me to understand that.
Sure. Okay.
You know this Himalaya, the glaciers and all of the things is very important in there. And if you see this Himalaya is the major source of water and economy and ecosystem for this South Asia. And we have Ganga River in India. Himalaya has hydropower and tourism opportunities and all of the things. Then you go to this Ganga. Ganga is a very powerful thing. And we have agricultural hub and economy in India through this Ganga and Ganga rivers. And then it's come to this Podda River. If you see right now, I'm in Dhaka. Dhaka is near the Podda rivers. So other side of Bangladesh, there is a West Bengal. We are planning and develop this Kolkata port. It's called Kolkata ports, major ports and trade route for the South Asia. And in Rajbari, we are developing the industry and urban growth. I think I already sent you email. With my World Talent Economic Forum, definitely Port TV is our partners. We are helping our local economy. And then if you go there is a Mongla port and this Bay of Bengal. Bay of Bengal is a blue economy. There is a fisheries. There is a offshore economy. There is a deep sea port, and all of the interesting things happening. So this is my book. Actually, I write this scientific book with all of the evidence. And last 7 years, what I did in India with India Institute of Technology. Last year, I was in Stanford. So Stanford University scientist, some professor, they work with me. Also NASA, also working in this ecosystem. And then India Institute of Technology and my university is in Bangladesh. This is $1 trillion economy, right? And here it has impact around 700 million people in this route.
Right.
Impact. If you, let's say you develop your media and media city or whatever it is, you can directly connect it with 700 million people. So in the tech industry and the AI innovation area, AI data and artificial intelligence play a major role. And most important things, all of the people, 57 to 60% population is actually youth. So you just count, you can create positive economic impact with 700 million people, $1 trillion economy next decade, next 1 year, next 10 years. And that is the things I am working with my community. You can change the world. So I do not know why the politician running behind all of the immigrations, this, that, they are killing, Iran is killing this Islamophobia. Religion is good, but over practicing religions and other things, it's very bad. So I believe through your Pod TV network, through Pacific Crime Business Council, that's why I'm utilizing this Pacific Crime Business Council in this network, in this relationship. It's a huge opportunity. And this is a huge opportunity for North American investor like you. And not only money, it's about human activities. You can change with water resources, with agricultural innovation, with Himalaya and all of the things. So that is the things I'm developing. So Western world, I know they are very rich, but our global South, our South Asia, they are also super rich with culture, with natural resources, with geographical issue, and with people. That is called talent economy. I feel that this will be a very interesting opportunity for all of us for the next 10 years. And you can contribute, but anybody can contribute from your network. So that is the call. I build up this Himalaya, Ganga, and Podda with definitely North American, because North America has all of the brilliant things like NASA, like Stanford. They are also joining in this ecosystem. And we also have Indian Institute of Technology or brilliant people. And you see that 1,000 and 1,000 people joining in my conference, joining in my summit, because I'm creating something new for this community and for the global community. So that is my request. Maybe we can work together and we can make progress. And thank you, Mr. Nick. I always said you changed my life. Whatever the support you need, I will do it for you. Thank you.
So I looked it up, and this river is almost 1,600 miles long, which is way longer than the Mississippi River, and it impacts the lives of nearly 1/10 of the world's people. It's crazy big.
Yeah. That is the area.
Is this the Ganga River, Dr.
Yeah.
Sharif?
Yes.
Okay.
Himalaya, through Himalaya, then Ganga, then Podda, and then Bay of Bengal. Bay of Bengal is the route even for all of the trade and commerce.
You know, the interesting thing about this part of the world is the Americans don't know anything about it, Dr. Sharif. Yet what you said was very important.
Honestly,
there's 700 million people who live there. I mean,
700 million people.
700 million.
Yeah, but in Stanford and in NASA, they are working together with me for this project. And 31st January, I have I want to invite you all, very special episode for this HCI, Himalaya Climate Initiative, or our Talent Economy Initiative. And through this process, right the way, you can create impact of 700 million people lives. It's a 700 million customer for you. So that is the things. But you are correct. When I discuss these things with USA, some professors, some point they laugh at me. what is happening? But it is happening. don't have any. I want to invite
You
you
know,
all.
Home Stoner wouldn't laugh at you. Home Stoner thinks this is where the future is.
Yeah, the
And
future is
I'm
in
looking-
Asia, and the future is in
Yeah,
Asia and Africa. There's no doubt about that and everything. Nick, I got a question for you and everything, because I know you just love peace talks, and this is a good question for definitely Sharif eventually as well and everything. But the monks are in South Carolina, and I think they're heading toward North Carolina because they're going on a peace walk and everything like that. So we know that there's a lot of people that are concerned about the various conflicts in the world and everything. So they are trying to mobilize and have this peace walk. I think they're supposed to be in Raleigh sometime this latter part of this month and everything like that, as they march to DC, I guess, to have a meeting possibly with some of our government officials and everything like that. And we know that Trump has said that he's already solved several wars. I think he says 8, even though those conflicts are still going on. But what is our thoughts about the monks going on this peace walk? I think they've been maybe even to California already, but I know they're definitely coming to North Carolina, and sometimes people are joining them. I was watching the news yesterday, and there was a gentleman from Asheville that had joined them because he thinks that this is a good move and a realignment of the planet and everything like that. So what's your thoughts around this peace walk and whether it'll accomplish anything?
Well, it won't accomplish. Monks are often really friendly people because, like in New York City, people know how to talk to each other because they're always face to face on the street. In LA, people have worse communication skills because we're all in our vehicles. But monks, they spend all their time walking around, meeting people every day. So if you run into a monk, say hi to a monk, and you might have a good conversation.
I know a good conversation with a monk if I run into one. I don't know just so he's going to do
it. See, unfortunately, the monks don't make decisions in world events. And this is when the real problem lies. Is that the thing is, the people that are making decisions in the United States, if they said, hey, you're walking in Washington, D.C., the Tower of Power, I'd say, yeah, they might. That's where they should be walking, in the halls of Congress. You know, one of the organizations I'm a member of, or I speak for now, I used to be a member of, called NAFA. What they did is, and they still do it today, they organize a congressional meeting with a congressman once a year. Very important. And by the way, if you want to make a difference, that's who you got to go see. So here's what you do if you want to make a difference. First of all, you got to go to Washington, D.C. Next, what you need to do is this. You need to reach in your bottom pocket and bring this. It's called a checkbook. Okay. So you go to Washington, D.C. with a group. You bring your checkbook and you write checks to their campaign managers. And you'll meet with their staffers. And that can make a difference, my friend. All this other walking stuff is good for television. It may make people feel good, but frankly, it won't make a difference.
Well, speaking of checkbooks, did Trump not get a big enough check from the UN and everything like that? Because he's pulled out with an executive order, and this was done last week, 66 organizations, including 31 that were the UN entities, like the UN Women, the UN Population Fund, which addressed sexual and reproductive health, the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change, and others were less well known and everything like that. But he pulled us out of a bunch of UN things, including some UN organizations that were probably involved in the Bangladesh situation and everything like that.
It's not surprising. He's swiping the UN because the UN was passing things that were anti-American because we invaded Venezuela and took their leader out. So it doesn't surprise me we'll defund them.
I just want to bring a story, try to understand. This is the misunderstanding about emerging economy. My World Talent Economic Forum, you know, we have 10,000 of organizations, different organizations. We have university, school, college, government agency, corporations, NGO, and everything. So just 1 month before, I start work with one mosque in Dhaka. It's called Gulshan Mosque. So one of the foundations, they come and they meet with me and they go for 1 hour of discussions. So they are very impressed by this World Talent Economic Forum, this Spot TV and all of the things. So the chairman of As-Sunnah Foundation, he said that, look, I ask for money that we have flood in Bangladesh. So I want to help people. So as he's very honest man, he's very pious and very good man. So all of the Bangladeshi people actually start to giving him money. So when he get around 161 billion Bangladeshi taka, 161 billion Bangladeshi taka, or it's uh, mm, around $15 million, then he stopped everyone. Hey, do not give me more money. I need to work with that. I'm a religious, and without these things, I cannot do this. Do support this work. So this emerging economy, they have their own capacity. Honestly speaking, with finance, with innovations, with technology, with science and innovations, and all of the things. And let's say healthcare industry. I talk about Ayurveda, right? Education system. Trust me, I respect all of you because you are very intelligent and other things. But according to STEM education, like mathematics, like science, South Asian people are very good. So things is that like uh, uh, here it has different story. This is not like that without United Nations country like Bangladesh, they cannot survive. We are going for graduation. Yes, we have financial lot of challenge. We have technological challenge, but as a human, I do not want to present myself, but my people, my Bangladeshi people, they are very good. I think Mr. Homestoner, he can talk. They are very good in terms of their heart. They are very open-minded to help each other. They are very positive to help each other. I know there are a lot of good people in North America and in our panels, and your heart is very good. But when crisis come, when challenges come, when any kind of good things come, Bangladeshi people, they go for united and they help their community. That is the things I want to share. But how I see this USA present political situation, or Iran political situation, or this Russia political situation, these are the big country, right? Compared to Bangladesh, you deserve more. I want to be very polite, more positive and quality leaders. That is the challenges US have right now. You deserve more qualityful leaders. So I request all of the talented peoples in USA from this panel. Nick is a very good candidate for American president elections. So why don't you involve in the good politics and make some contribution for changing this thing? So this is the opportunity for everyone. Yeah, let's work together and make progress.
Well, actually, that sounds good, Dr. Sharif. Yeah, Rick.
Something for Jatovi to talk about. This was the craziest NFL playoff weekend in history, with 4.5 out of 5.
We got one more game to go. Got one more game to go.
One more game tonight. Steelers versus, I don't know, somebody. But all Texas. The games, 4.5 out of 5 of the games were really good, with just crazy turns of fortune. More lead changes in the fourth quarter than ever before in history. And you know, it's and the rest of the playoffs, I assume, are going to be chaotic. I don't think there's any clear favorite among the 8 teams who will be doing, you know, the next 3-4 weeks. Jatovi?
Yeah, I mean, 4 out of the 5 games that were played over the weekend were 1-score games in terms of the finishes. You had multiple lead changes in all of the games. On top of that, yes, there's truthfully no winner tonight. In all honesty, if it works out the way that it should during the season, Houston should blow out Pittsburgh. Houston is actually better than Pittsburgh. But if it works out the way that the playoffs have been going, it's going to be a 1-score game, and it's going to be tight all the way through. But yeah, I mean, it's been a great. I mean, there is no clear winner. There's going to be a brand new Super Bowl champion since Philadelphia lost. And plus, if you think about the actual playoffs themselves, the only considered top quarterback that's left is Josh Allen, because Josh Allen has been considered with Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, as the best quarterbacks in the league. Well, we're forgetting about everybody else, because honestly, Caleb Williams looks like the best quarterback in the league, especially in the fourth quarter because of his.
He scored 25 points. Fourth quarter.
And then you have Matthew Stafford, who hasn't thrown an interception in the fourth quarter. So he's also a top-tier quarterback that we forget about all the time. Sam Darnold is going to get his opportunity. He actually is the only quarterback to take two teams back to back at 14. What is it? 13, 14 wins with Seattle and Minnesota. He should have stayed. If Minnesota would have kept Sam Darnold, Minnesota would be in the playoffs. But Minnesota didn't keep Sam Darnold. They actually went with J.J. McCarthy. J.J. McCarthy honestly wasn't ready. He's not going to be ready. He's actually might be ruined because they rushed him back so fast because he had to play this year. But Sam Darnold will get his opportunity and get vengeance because they're going to have to play the Rams. And the only reason the Rams lost to Seattle to actually lose first place, to lose first place was on a couple of fluke plays at the near the end of the game, a 2-point conversion, some other fluke plays that just shouldn't have gone, but they went Seattle's way, giving Seattle the number 1 seed. But going into next week, the lineups have already set because after the win last night with New England beating who did they play?
Chargers.
Yeah, New England beating the Chargers. That set the playoffs for next week. So the winner between between Houston and Pittsburgh, they're going to have to play Denver.
I'm
sorry. Actually, they won't play Denver. It's Buffalo will play Denver. Buffalo goes to Denver. New England gets the winner of tonight's game. Honestly, if Houston plays New England, Houston actually has an opportunity, but everybody's rating New England as the top team to come out of the AFC. I don't see that yet.
What's Houston's rank or Pittsburgh's? Because I think because they always get the lower seed.
It's the 4-5 game. That's what game.
It's the 4-5 game. So either way, they will play the 1 and everything like that. So
either way they're going to play because the lowest seed was Buffalo.
The lowest seed was Buffalo, right? So Buffalo will play the number 2 seed. So that makes sense.
Buffalo will play the number 1 seed.
Right. Oh, gotcha. Right. Buffalo will play the number 1 seed because they were the lowest one. I got you. Yeah, that makes sense.
So things in the U.S. are pretty stressy right now. So it's nice to have a game that'll distract you for 3 hours.
Well, speaking of things that will distract you, and speaking along those lines, I got to bring back Nick in and everything because I know he's just jumping up and down, even though they've got a tough game next week. Because I know he's a big fan of the U, as he likes to call them, and everything like that. And they are back and will be playing the Indiana team, which is going to be heavily favored and all along those lines. So are you ready to take on Indiana? Because Indiana is going to be heavily favored. I think Jacoby will even agree with me on that. And everything like that.
It's Mark. It'll be 2:00 in the morning, and ESPN and their blocks out the games here. So I get to listen to ESPN radio. So I get to listen on radio. But USA Sports is really hard to get. I'm going to work on actually seeing it, but it's extremely difficult. And what happens, the Pirates put them on YouTube, and then the YouTube people run around and block them and take them off. So the Pirates get on for a little while. They put it on YouTube for a little while, and then they're thrown off. But it should be a good game, Miami versus Indiana, and we'll just have to see who wins. So, I think it's toss-up,
It's not really, I hate to say it, but it's not really a toss-up in this case. Indiana is heavily favored. Indiana has the number 1 quarterback. They played the best the whole year. Mendoza.
Dude, you're talking to.
I know you're a fan. I'm just speaking of actually being an analyst on.
Yeah, they said the same thing about, I think, this team called Ohio State. Ohio State had the best defense, the best offense.
Who beat Ohio State?
Okay. Well, let me tell you a little bit about
Nick. No, let me tell you.
Okay.
Who
Since
beat
you don't know
Let
college
me tell
football.
you, Nick.
Okay.
Who beat Ohio State? Who beat Ohio State?
Miami beat Ohio State.
Wait, who beat Ohio State to win that conference?
I think it was Indiana. What was the score?
Thank you. So you're ranting and raving about Indiana having the number 1 this and the number 1 that.
Listen,
but
what was
Indiana
the
actually
score?
beat them in the regular season when it
Jacoby.
was all on the line. So what I'm trying to point out to you, if you look at the actual schedules of both of the actual teams, their schedules, Indiana had a tougher conference.
Oh, not even
covered.
close. You've got to be kidding me.
Look it up.
You don't know college football. They started off with Old Dominion. They barely beat them. Then they beat Indiana State and Kennesaw
Who has a
State.
tougher
That was
conference?
tough. While Miami was playing Notre Dame, Miami was playing South Florida, and Miami was playing Florida. That's
Who
who
has a
Indiana
tougher
played.
conference?
And
No, Nick.
they beat
you're not
Ohio
listening.
State
I'm talking as a
barely.
fan. I get it.
13-10. Miami
You've been
crushed
ranting
them.
and raved about the U and this and that.
Okay, but let me tell you
You're
all
listening.
about the U that you don't know. Well, my
Indiana-
right tackle is 6'9", 6'9",
Who has the number one quarterback?
350. My left tackle is
Who has the number one quarterback?
350. And you guys at Indiana haven't seen anything.
I'm not an Indiana fan. I'm just
the
pointing
U.
out facts.
The U will dominate.
Hold on,
with
Nick.
them.
Nick, now
Dominate.
listen.
Like they did
I
with
get it.
Ohio State.
I know
Because
you
all
want
Indiana's
Miami,
are Ohio State.
But I'm trying to point out something to you.
So
what it is-
Indiana will be lucky to stay in the game.
Indiana has had a tougher schedule. Indiana plays in a tougher conference.
No,
Indiana
a weaker
has
schedule
had
and a
has
weaker
the
conference.
number
Not
one
even-
quarterback in the nation. Indiana has
Well, you're buying that media high.
has had a tougher schedule to get to the championship game. Has blown out the teams that they played. They are undefeated.
Like, have you
Did
seen
Miami-
Oregon play
Did
nobody?
Miami go undefeated?
In Alabama, they
Did
lost
Miami
to
go
Florida
undefeated?
State.
No,
Alabama
hold on a
lost.
second. Hold on a second.
No. Did Miami win their conference? No.
It's the U.
So you're
baby.
arguing-
That's because we play in the
I
toughest
get it.
conference in college football. The ACC
What?
is the toughest this year. Go look at the record. Go look at the record.
No, I think that
It's amazing.
you are
You
mistaken.
need to read
Hold on a
the
second.
room.
I saw Rick's hand up, and
I'm gonna get my
everything.
use
I got a
stuff out. I'll be
non-sports
back.
related question really quickly, and this is
It's
to
never been
everybody
the
on the
toughest
panel.
football
It's a
conference.
non-sports related, but a news related question. So, what's up with? Because I was going to bring this up earlier. What's up with Trump going after the Fed? Because apparently the Fed chair, and I know that Nick just loves the Fed chair, is being investigated.
We talked about it. But the Fed chair wants to keep interest rates, not low, to fight inflation, and Trump wants interest rates low to goose the stock market. And the Fed's supposed to be independent of the president. Trump hates that, so he's trying to charge the Fed chair with fraud for the cost of remodeling the Fed building, even though
This
Powell.
from a man who remodeled his own building.
Yeah. So I want to mention one other thing. The Golden Globes were last night.
They
Speaking
were.
of distractions, very a few. Nobody mentioned ICE at all. I don't think.
They didn't.
I don't know if they were told not to. There was, it used to be that these award shows were full of political comments in the thank you speeches. Only one person, Judd Apatow, made a political, an overtly political comment saying, I guess we live in a dictatorship now. But it was mostly politics free.
Yep, I watched a little bit of it. It was definitely politics free, and there was some interesting wins and everything along those lines. But yeah, it was definitely politically free as best as I could tell, and everything like that. He had to go get his U hat and everything like that, his U cup, and everything like that.
Baby. The U. This is what India hasn't seen. This is what they're going to see. The U, baby. A guy 6'9", 350 on the line. Go look at Miami's line.
There was in the monologue. There
You got
was
some big guys there.
All right, slightly political stuff where Nikki Glazer called CBS News CBS News, even though the show was on CBS, but she ripped CBS News for going MAGA, basically.
Oh, they're MAGA now?
Yeah, they brought in this woman, Barry Weiss, who is very right-leaning, and she spiked a story on 60 Minutes about Trump's torture, sending people to foreign torture prisons. They had it may never air. She's changed the direction of their news, and it's much more right-leaning.
Yeah. But see, that's the problem with the news. It's all bad stuff. And see, here, Dr. Sharif is bringing good stuff to the network. He's bringing in the ability to recreate an area of the world that has 700 million people to make it an economic hot zone, which is actually moving in the positive direction. Unfortunately, a lot of stuff, especially on politics, they all move in the bad direction. I mean, they don't help anybody. Let's face it. Let's go look at the war in Ukraine. How does that help anybody? It doesn't. It's garbage. So the sooner they get over that stuff, the better, and move on and do something that is positive. But I did find something interesting by T.J. Walker, who's on the network, who does Filtered. For those who haven't seen it, shows up right before this show. He goes, the problem with American housing cost is our houses are too big. In other words, it used to be the average size house was 1,200 square feet. Now it's 2,500 square feet when contractors build it. And he's got a point, because in Spain, the houses are small. They're about 1,200 square feet, 800, 600. So the housing cost is $400,000 for a house, which should be 200 or 180. But you have to have your expectations work toward thinking of 11 or 1,200 square foot home, not a 2,500 square foot home. And unfortunately,
the average size of houses in the U.S. has doubled since the end of World War II.
Yeah. And what T.J. Walker was saying is that's the problem. The problem is the houses have doubled, but your salaries haven't. So, you can't afford a home that you can't afford. So what you really need to do is think differently and get a home that's 1,200 square feet and make it work. I was able to do that because in Spain you can't get these big homes; they don't exist.
My question is, why is it a
do not exist?
Why is it a problem? Why is it a problem?
It's not a problem. It's an enlightenment.
Why is it a problem that ask for more space for a home is a problem, but as
we will be able to
for
launch
more money
satellite
isn't a problem.
That's almost one launch every week.
Or, why are we so concerned about people with the growth of their homes and not the growth of their wallets?
Self-cleaning, easy to handle advantages.
Oh Lord, somebody's watching something.
Monitoring traffic,
Yeah, check out what folks are watching. Is that Dr. Sharif?
Well, somebody was down your new.
Yeah, with Dr. Sharif.
Okay. Well, the U.S. workers get sold a bill of goods that it's all on the worker to work harder to bring in more money. Yep. And when the other nations, most of the European nations are like, the productivity has increased fivefold since World War II, and the workers should get some of those benefits. In the U.S., most of the benefits from the increase in productivity have gone to the owner class.
Well, speaking of workers getting benefits and everything like that, apparently the nurses in New York are not too happy because nearly 15,000 nurses went on strike, and that took place earlier today and everything. So if you're trying to get to a hospital in New York and you need a nurse's care, you might be in trouble because 15,000 of them just went on strike today, because I'm sure they're asking for more robust staffing levels and higher pay. So the strike comes 3 years after a smaller job action, one significant gain. So they did a good gain, but they don't feel like they got enough gains and everything like that. So it looks like there is definitely a big labor showdown in the city's healthcare industry. They're saying one of the biggest ones in decades and everything like that. So it looks like they're trying to force the hospitals to ensure minimum staffing ratios and to make sure that they get some better pay. So what's our thoughts about this story that could impact a lot of folks there in the Big Apple?
Well, I'm sure if conditions are sufficiently crappy for nurses to go on strike, the nurses have legit issues. It's much tougher for people to strike in the U.S. than it is in Europe, where they'll strike at the drop of a hat pretty regularly, and it's so I tend to, when people strike in the U.S., it's generally not over bullshit. It's generally because they're facing crappy treatment.
Speaking of crappy treatment, in that same line, and we can talk about it on the media show as well, and I know we talked about it before, but that Australia social media ban, because of that, Meta has blocked 550,000 accounts under the new law. So it looks like a lot of teenagers and a lot of young people are not going to be using social media there in Australia, because that's a whole lot of people that is being banned according to Meta. We haven't even talked about the other ones.
All right. So Nick mentioned a thing that the news concentrates on bad news. That to make the news, something bad has to happen. So I asked the AI, how fast is the quality of life improving? And AI said the quality of life globally is improving at a steady long-term pace driven by gains in life expectancy, education, and living standards. The global average life expectancy has gone from 46 and a half in 1950 to nearly 72 in 2022. So things are global, I mean, in general, getting better. We just, due to our diet of social media and the news, we only see things going to shit.
Yep, that's very true. This is a global story, and maybe Dr. Sharif's got some thoughts around this, but Trump is telling Cuba to make a deal before it's too late and everything. So that came out, I think, yesterday on CBS and everything like that. So apparently he's ready to go after Nicaragua, because I think there was a prisoner exchange with Nicaragua and everything like that. And definitely it looks like he's even telling Cuba that maybe we're going to have another Cuban Missile Crisis. That was back in the 60s, I believe it was, and everything like that.
So, no, I mean, that was different. That was Russia, the Soviet Union, trying to move nuclear weapons to the island of Cuba, which is 80 miles off our coast, which means if they had nuclear missiles there, they could hit the East Coast within 2 minutes.
Oh, yeah, easily.
And so that led to a really dangerous confrontation. Though really things aren't much better now, because there are a ton of nuclear submarines that could be lurking as close to our coasts as Cuba is.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't stop a missile launched from a nuclear sub. It's going too fast, and it's and it's too close.
Agreed. It's much too close and everything. But that's why we got Dr. Sharif, who's trying to bring positive people together and trying to make positive change and everything along those lines. So he's doing positive changes to make us a better world, and not just a better country in the sense of Bangladesh or a better U.S. and everything like that. So you're doing some positive things there.
Basically, look, I'm from a politician family. So I learned from my father actually how to think about the community, how to think about the people, how to contribute for the people. And definitely I'm very blessed by the Western world. Last 15 years of my journey, I get a lot of support from Western world. I learn new things, I grow, I try to understand the communities. And it's given me opportunities from global north. I learn and I can understand the global south. And when I start contributing in a positive way, why don't we build up our own ecosystem? Why don't we build up our urban plan? Why don't we improve our educations? Why don't we improve our healthcare? I get very positive response. I'm blessed by the people. People can understand. So I'm not a politician. I do not have any plan for engage with the politics. But from my father, who was politicians, I learned how to think positively about people, how to contribute for the people. I think that is the very basic things I learned from my family. And I think even I'm very small man, I want to be down to earth. How I meet with the people, how I engage with the people. People has lot of positive energy, both from South Asia and from North America, from Africa, from South America. So I think that the political strategy, leadership development process, what I'm doing with North America and Japan, it must need to change. We need to bring, there are a lot of talent, lot of good people around the world. Even in our podcast, you people are great. You have brilliant mind. You have brilliant thought process. So we need to bring them as a leader, as a catalyst, who can solve real problem and who can be leader for their community. That is very small thing, and this way we can fix a lot of problem. And I definitely what is happening in the Iran, what is happening in fact USA is good. At least you have your voice, you can raise your voice. What is happening in this Ukraine or Palestine, I want to see we need more good people who can lead their community and work for their communities and change this world. We need good politicians, undoubtedly.
No doubt about that. We need to have more positive people and everything along those lines. What else are you seeing in the news, Rick, and everything? I mentioned some of the things that I had seen and everything along those lines. But what are you seeing? We still got about another
Touch
5
up.
minutes.
I mean, Iran continues to teeter. Iran has shut down phone service and the internet for its people, the Ayatollahs. They've killed 538, at least that many protesters. So, every 10 years or so, Iran flirts with overthrowing the government, which is going on right now. But they're kind of a tease. They never do overthrow their government. Maybe this time, but I don't know.
Yeah, who knows whether they'll actually overthrow their government or not and everything like that. Hey, I saw some interesting tech stuff that was going on at that tech conference. Jacoby, there was, because I was watching something on the news, there was a robot that was being very slow, because I think Seth, the late night host, was being very fun, joking about it, because he was saying that there was a robot that was being very slow in what it was doing, in the sense of loading the laundry and everything like that. And he was also talking about a smart toilet that was out there as well. So it seems like there's some functional inventions, including a lollipop that apparently, as you look at it, plays music. So it was definitely some interesting things that were there at the tech conference that goes on every year. But yeah, Seth Goldberg was having fun picking on some of those, including the lollipop that was technologically based, but apparently also played some music and gave you that lollipop flavor.
Yeah, CES always has some interesting things. From the robot, they're now making a like a room. Well, Roomba's a brand, but a Roomba, everybody knows when you just like Zoom, it's a video
Right.
call. But yeah, a Roomba that'll climb stairs. They've got TVs. They always have the coolest TVs. There's always some interesting things that they have at CES. That's all. A lot of it doesn't end up getting made because of the actual money behind it. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
Always some fascinating stuff. Well, we're ready to go to the economic show, get ready to wrap this one up and everything like that. But we got economics going on. Now we've also got media at noon, and of course the timeshare. And I understand that she just came back from a Senate hearing that had something to do with the Senate. So I'm sure she'll be reporting on that at 1:00. But right now, let's see what they're talking about economically wise and get on out of here. Dr. Sharif, always good hearing your insights from Bangladesh and everything like that. And always good hearing you, my longtime friend Jatovi, and everything like that. So we're getting ready to get on out of here, and we'll be back with the economic show.